Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Jubin, and in this episode 8 of Azure Databricks series, we are going to turn our manual notebook into a real automated pipeline. So this is how the notebooks you have written so far become production systems. So let's get started. So a workflow in Databricks is made of few key parts, and understanding these makes the rest of the episode much easier to follow. So first thing are the tasks, where uh, the tasks are made of a workflow is one of the tasks the notebook tools execute. So this can be notebooks, SQL queries, or scripts. Second is scheduling, and you run a workflow automatically on a schedule, like every night at 2 a.m. And no one really needs to remember this to click run. So it runs on a schedule. And dependencies, so chain tasks together. So one task can only run after the last one succeeds, and this prevents a broken pipeline from silently continuing on bad data. And monitoring, so see every run's status, duration, and logs in one place. So think of it just like Uzi, like Apache Uzi, or maybe Apache Airflow. So those are both job orchestration workflows that you can, and Databricks also provides the same, and it's called workflow. So before we dive into the workflows, there are a few key things that we should understand on the foundation level, and that is the ETL pipelines. And here is the simple ETL pipeline. ETL means extract, transform, and load. So it's a very common pattern in data engineering. Task one is to extract, read the source data wherever it's coming from. Transform is to clean and reshape that data using data frame skills, and that we learned in episode 4. And the load is to load the data into the Delta Lake table using what we learned in episode 5. And notify is like alerting on success or failure. So once this is set up, it runs entirely on its own with no manual steps required. And the data is cleaned and reshaped before it's stored into the destination. And so the example is the extract customer orders from e-commerce database, remove invalid records, convert currencies to USD, and standardize the dates, and load the clean data into reporting database. So advantages of this approach is the destination only contains cleaned and curated data, good when the storage or compute resources become available, and disadvantages are you lose some raw data unless you keep a separate copy. And if business logic changes, or if the business requirements change, then you have to rerun the entire ETL process again. And then the alternative that most of the modern systems use these days is the ELT. So both ETL and ELT are ways of moving the data, but they differ when data is transformed. So ELT is extract, load, and transform, and transform the data before loading the raw data first. And when transform it, ETL common in traditional warehouses, and ELT is common in modern cloud platforms like Databricks, Snowflake, etc. So why would we need raw data loaded first and transformations happen later inside the data platform? One of this example is the customer orders. So load the raw data into the Databricks and use Spark SQL or Python to clean and aggregate that data to learn or analyze some pattern on the customer orders. And advantages are the preserves the original raw data, and it's easier to create different views for different teams, and takes advantages of scalable cloud computing. And disadvantages are that raw data may be messy until transformations are applied, and requires a platform capable of handling large processing. So ELT is popular today because you have Databricks, Snowflake, in the platform. Google BigQuery have powerful compute engines, so it's often easier, faster, and simpler to load everything first, transform it when the data where the data already lives. And there are two ways: manual runs and scheduled jobs. So manual runs, you click run, and every single time, while still building and testing, good for testing, one-off workflows where automation would be overkill, and easy to forget or run late since it depends entirely on the person remembering. And scheduled jobs are it runs automatically on a schedule. You set it so it happens reliably every time, and retries automatically if the task failed, handling transient issues without you having to step in, and sends you an alert if something goes wrong so failures don't go unnoticed. So let's jump into the demo. Um, we have our orders table that we created. So we will go to it still has 3 rows if we look at the sample data. I'm going to refresh my page over here, and we look at the and select the compute. You might have to restart it because the server it's serverless, so it detaches after 10 minutes. And yeah, so it still has 3 rows, and we will start our workspace. So we will create a new notebook, or actually we'll just use the existing uh, SQL editor, and then we will insert 10 rows. So I will provide this insert query later on, and we're going to insert about 50 rows. So let that execute. And it's not supported in read-only session mode. Okay, so maybe let me try this. And we have to add the data. And we have our, so we'll start a workspace and create a new notebook. And it automatically detects it's a SQL. So we are going to run this. And while that's running, we will create a summary DF. So we will use the orders table. So this query has executed, or it's still working. Let's see. But we will create a order summary job. And so that view that we saw previously was read only, and that's why it was not allowing us to execute that query or insert new records. But this is the new, but if we look at the data frame again, or the query again, the table might be updated. So now we will run this. So we will display the summary data frame later on, but right now we will run and create this data frame, and then let's display the summary data frame. So now we have summarized this, and the total order count in pending, shipped is 12, canceled is 1, delivered is 16. So we have a mix of orders, and now we will write the test results so into its own Delta Lake table. So write test results into its own Delta Lake table. So we are creating an order summary delta lake table. Okay, so that was done, and now we will open the workflows, and so this is the workspace, and so workflows, and then we will create a job. So this is called jobs and pipelines instead of workflows, and and then we will once we will create add a task. So we will create a task name, order summary job, and this is the notebook that we just wrote, and we will select the path to that notebook, which was in the drafts, and we will confirm this, and then we will um, click create, and we will run, and then we have to also source is the workspace, and we can also schedule triggers. So we have some unsaved changes, so let's save it first. And this is a schedule trigger, so we will schedule an interval. So we want to schedule it at, say, 1 p.m. every day. So 13:00 in the UTC, or it is my time zone, so I'll save it. And then the job is updated successfully. So now we have schedule as well. And now we go to the runs. And then so I don't want to make insertions again into that notebook. So it will create 50 more jobs. So I will just, for now, remove. So I will go back, and this notebook, I will comment out everything and make sure it doesn't run. And yeah, and then I'll go to jobs and pipelines again, and then I will run this now. So you see this is running. This is the order summary job. It is executing. And then we can see log4j output, standard output, and standard error as well. And we just wait for this run to finish. Okay, so the run has succeeded, and we will see the logs. So even though it says compute does not exist, this is how we can schedule a run. So that's it for this video. The workflow chains the tasks together, whether notebooks, SQL, or scripts, into one automated pipeline. Jobs can run on a schedule with retries and alerts built in. So you don't have to babysit them. This is how you turn manual notebook into a schedule run. And that's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really helps the series reach more people. And in the next video, we'll look at some machine learning with workflow, with ML flow, and we'll add a new capability on top of everything else. So take care and see you soon.